Hello Gemini, Elsie here to do your reading. It is for the week ahead, Gems. How are you? Thank you so much for clicking here. I've got these oracles set up here, and you'll know if you're my ride or die that I usually do oracles first to get the feeling for the week ahead, and then we're going to throw some tarot at it to get some details about the week ahead. So whether you get this today, tomorrow, or next week, next year, it will be for the week ahead, always. Let's find out what's going on for you. And by the way, if you're brand new Gemini, if you are a brand new Gemini or you're cross-watching a Gemini, welcome. I hope you'll say hello in the comments. And if you decide to stay, there is a subscription button down in the bottom right-hand corner of this little square where I live here. All right, let's find out what's going on for Gemini, please, for the week ahead. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We've got learn from the past. So I think that universe is asking you to learn from your mistakes. We've got card number 25, which is a 7. And for me as a reader, 7s are about heaven. It's about divine intervention. It's about the universe sticking their nose in and saying, look, it's time for you to learn from the past so you don't repeat the cycles. It's telling you to not to repeat the cycle. It's the only way that you're going to be able to move forward. So learning from the past, elephants are good auspicious signs, right? Elephants reminds me of Ganesh, and Ganesh is the remover of obstacles. So I feel like there's some sort of obstacle that's being removed from your path should you decide to move forward. I feel the obstacle is the past. That's what it feels like. You need to stop defaulting to old thoughts or how you felt about people back there. Everybody changes, including you. We do have the beast spirit. Sweet results await. So I feel like if you are able to learn from the past, that you will have some sweet results. Look, we have 7s, 7 and 7. You might be seeing 7s. And if you do, please understand it's very rare to see 7s. 7s don't just come up all of the time. 7s are kind of like a jackpot, like something really great is around the corner. Usually for me, the 7s tell me, the 2 7s tell me it's on the way. 3 7s is what tells me that it's something incredible that's about to show up for you. Tell me about Gemini, please. Tell me about Gemini. We have the gateway. I love it. So you are learning from the past, Gemini. I feel like that's what's going on here, that you're learning some sort of lesson or pattern. And so, you know, sometimes people say, well, why do I keep having these relationships that crash and burn all the time? And it's because you haven't yet learned a pattern. And it's not just in relationship, it's in jobs, it's in situations, it's in arguments that you might have or invite in. I feel like you are stepping through a gateway and you're leaving something in the past. You've decided, I see myself in this pattern and I don't want to have to learn that lesson again. So I'm going to get out of the pattern. And I feel like the gateway is the place where you go. We have wisdom. There it is. You've learned something. You've learned something from the past and you no longer want to repeat that. And so you are now moving forward through this gateway here. Not everybody does that. I'm telling you, people will live their whole entire lifetimes in the same pattern over and over and over again because they refuse to change. But I think you are the unicorn. I think you are the person who has realized that you are in a pattern. All right. Forgiveness. There it is. You can't make that up. Forgiveness. This is I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. This is the pattern that you've recognized. That by harboring resentment, it doesn't only, if you have a problem with one person and you're harboring resentment, that resentment is going to carry over to everything, to your job, to other people. Understand, please, it's a flaw in the characterhood, right? It's something that is within you. And so I feel like somebody is finally letting it go. Is what it is. You're letting something go and therefore freeing yourself to go into the next gateway. Yeah, no more blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. And so, you know, maybe that person did you wrong. I'm not saying that there isn't somebody who didn't do you wrong. I'm saying that maybe someone did do you wrong, but now you've noticed your pattern of standing up or attacking back and you've decided, no, I'm not doing that anymore. That's not what I'm doing anymore. We're not doing that here. We're not doing old patterns in 2025. Onward and upward means we're willing to see the pattern so we can change it. Tell me about Gemini, please. I love this reading already, Gemini. Learning from the past is going to set you free, friend. I really love it. Because the forgiveness is never for them. Who cares if they think that you've forgotten them or forgiven them or not? The forgiveness is for you. That you forgive yourself for being stuck in that same pattern, for allowing someone to provoke you. Tell me more about Gemini, please. We've got the Three of Swords. And it's not like it's not like it wasn't heartbreak or disappointment. Of course it is. But I feel like you're dealing with it differently now going forward in the week ahead. We've got the Three of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. And we've got the Two of Swords. Well, this kind of says a lot of things, right? It says here that, yes, there's disappointment and heartbreak. And of course, I have to go through all of the feelings of grief. And the Three of Pentacles tells me, but you know what? I could just carry on to a new gateway, which is a new community, a new stability. I can build things from the ground up. I want to say that you are, there's two people that are watching this person, and they are learning from that person. I feel like you are learning from the past here. This is all about teaching. It's all about learning, right? And where you're learning who's on your side and who's not. We do have the Two of Swords here. It tells me here that you are going to make the decision to release something because the full moon is here, right? We've got the full moon and we've got the Two of Swords. So I feel like all of this time that the reason that you allowed people to provoke you, so feeling like you had to clap back when people clapped at you, is that you were trying to protect yourself. And I feel like you're making a decision now. I'm just going to release it. I'm just going to forgive the situation. And it's just not worth getting my blood pressure up over, is all it is. And so there we go. It took you a long time to get to this place, I feel. But I feel like now you sort of have an ironclad boundary, I'm going to say, because the Four of Pentacles is shut off, shut down. Nope, you don't get my energy. That's what it feels like. You're not going to provoke me into giving you my energy. We have the Star. That's the healing energy. I love it. But you can only heal if you're willing to get out of the Two of Swords, the blocked energy, blocked in the mind is what it is, right? Only if you're willing to let that go and give forgiveness. Forgiveness is for you, as I said. Forgive yourself for allowing them to goad you into an argument or a fight. We do have the Three and the Two of Swords, which is 5 swords. And that can be, look, we're never going to agree on this. I'm never going to think like you. And that's okay. And you're never going to think like me. Let's just not talk about that subject. We don't have to hate each other over the things that we disagree upon, right? We can just agree to disagree. Maybe we just avoid that topic or that situation whenever I see you. I'm just not going to talk about it. We do have the Knight of Wands. And you know what? It's because you're brave. I always see the Knight of Wands as the bravest of all of them. Although the Knight of Swords goes pretty quickly and says a lot of things, for me, the Knight of Wands is going in with the armor because I intend to fight. And so I feel like the bravery of this person is I'm showing up to the fight, but I'm going to stand here in my armor. You're not going to take me outside my character. I know that the Knight of Wands can be an energy that is kind of unstable, but maybe they see you as that, and maybe it's okay if they see you as that. Maybe that's what keeps them on guard, right? If they see you in this energy of maybe I will, maybe I won't, maybe today's the day and maybe it isn't, right? So I feel like learning from the past is going to circumvent heartache, heartbreak, and disappointment in others. We've got the Three of Wands. You're turning your back on it, friend. We've got threes. 3, 3, 3. You're on a brand new path, I feel. I feel like you're on the right path is what the threes are telling me. That you're on this right path to forgiveness and ready to step through a gateway to a brand new life where the sweet results await, I feel. We have the Three of Wands, which is telling me you're turning your back on whatever was in the past and you're looking forward into expansion. It's time for me to expand. It's time for me to see what's out there. I'm no longer going to argue. It's time for me to go. This person's got their hand on the third wand. It's time for me to go. They've got an Ace of Wand in their hands, right? There's the Death card. Yeah, I'm the one that's going to change. You can stay there in the spot where you're stuck in the mind. I'm not going to do that. I'm decided I'm going to go ahead with this transformation and turn my back on the things that are just not for me. We do have the Page of Cups in favor of a new path or another day or happiness, or you know what, maybe I'm just going to leave it at the Page of Cups energy. I feel like this is also, the Page of Cups is like the beginning of something. Maybe we're just going to leave our relationship at the Page of Cups. Maybe, we have this affection for each other, but that's as far as it goes. I'm going to respect your space when you're in my space, and that's as far as it goes. I really do feel like this is also a surprise. I feel like you've surprised yourself, I'm going to say, that by letting something go here and giving forgiveness to you, that it does take you through this new gateway here. Tell me about this gateway in forgiveness. Tell me where this place is. What does it take, Gemini, please? We have the Two of Wands. We have the Four of Pentacles. I talked about the Four of Pentacles here. And then we have the Strength card. So there it is. I really love it, because going through the gateway and giving yourself forgiveness and deciding that you're not going to allow anybody to keep you blocked in a place, where a negative place where you don't want to be, that you're just going to release it. But the Strength card, as I always explain it, is about keeping the sword in the sheath on your side, right? It's about knowing that you can pull that sword at any time and cut them into ribbons. But the strength is keeping the sword in the sheath. Knowing that you have the strength to do that is really what strength is. That you don't have to lash out or let the lion loose. The Four of Pentacles and the Two of Wands tells me that you are preparing to make a decision to put down some pretty heavy boundaries. Not everyone is going to get my energy, and I think that's a really great way to do it. I feel like once you decide to release with the full moon here, release whatever this is and get out of this blocked energy, that's when you begin to grow a new foundation, new people, new community. I feel like the star is that healing energy that you've needed here. We've got the Empress. You've leveled up. Yes, I love it. Look at that. Look, the Empress is Taurus and Libra energy. I know that you're Gemini, but anybody can be the Empress, right? The Empress is an energy as well as a person. So the Empress is the energy of someone who's now very much in balance. I don't really need this. I don't really need to put my blood pressure up. I don't need to worry about you or obsess about what you said about me or what I heard you said about me. It feels like you're just ready to release it. The Ten of Swords is, yeah, being stabbed in the back, absolutely. It wasn't a fun place to be, but most of that healing that you need here, most of it was in the mind. I feel like you were hurting yourself because you couldn't let it go. But I feel with the Wheel of Fortune, it tells me now this is a change, a change of mind here, that you now are looking at it as whoever you are forgiving for whatever they did. I feel like now you're looking at it as now changes here. And I'm changing my mind so I can stay in balance, because the Empress is abundant, is a lot of balance. This is the person who isn't going to allow people to goad them into arguments, and the person who doesn't really need them. Like, they can stay behind the boundary, the Four of Pentacles, they can stay behind the boundary. I don't need that person in my life if they're just going to put my blood pressure up, right? So I feel like this is pretty brave. I'm just going to say, I feel like it's really brave, Gemini. Super brave that you've decided to heal. I feel like it's taken you a very long time to get here, because you're very analytical and you tend to overthink a lot of things. But the Knight of Pentacles is telling me it was a slow go. And it might have taken a whole year for you to get to this place, or it may take you a whole year to get to this place, because I feel like all of this is a realization that begins in the week ahead. And it feels like with the Knight of Pentacles that you are now in this analytical sort of mindset of, you know what, maybe what can I learn from the situation? What was my part of it? And what was their part of it? Sure, maybe they had 80%, maybe you had 20%, but maybe you need to take your 20% back and not let them goad you into anything any longer. I feel like it's just pure bravery here, I want to say, with the Knight of Wands. And I mean, all the knights are brave, but this particular one is fiery. Because I feel like you are. You could have a fire placement, you don't have to, but I feel like you are very fiery, even though you're an air sign. I've never met a Gemini who would back down from a damn thing. And so I feel like you're sort of a very fiery personality, but I feel like with the fire in the water here, she's the water bearer, right? That's Aquarius, that you're becoming more intellectual about where you spend your time, who you give your energy to, whether it's negative or positive. And I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is telling me it's because you've changed your mind. I'm never going to get myself into this place of the Ten of Swords again, where I allow myself to trust somebody and turn my back on them so they can put in the last sword. I feel like you're just not doing that anymore. You're going to pick a different group of people, a community you trust, right? This is cooperation, collaboration, people you can trust, building a foundation with these people here. Tell me about the Knight of Wands, please. I feel like you're done. You're done with this. I feel like you're off to do something else here. That's not the way you want to spend your time. I love it. It's a realization that you are stable. I like it. So we have the tower, right? And so it's the god of war, right? And I feel like you have had some sort of a shift in your mindset with the Wheel of Fortune and the tower here. It tells me that this shift is such a big one for you, Gemini, that it is it's going to absolutely change who you are. We've got the Empress, who is very much in balance, and now we have the King of Pentacles, who's very abundant, very slow-moving, dependable, someone who does have a lot of material wealth, but also someone who is very solid and grounded, and somebody who's settled, right? And so I feel like it's your decision to do that. I feel like it's a realization that you get from the universe. It feels like, when the Judgment card comes up, something has to be laid to rest in order for something to be resurrected. And so I feel like what you're laying to rest here is this fiery sort of temper or lashing out. I'm not saying that all of you are like that, but it feels like whoever, even if it's one person that I'm connecting with, it feels like that you tend to lash back out. And I think what you need to do is just put up the blinders, shut the blinds, close the windows, lock the door, and be done with it. And I feel like that's what we're doing here, because the King of Pentacles values their material world, their health, their wealth, their home, their house, their family, their children. I feel like you're focused on your pentacle world now. It's a realization that I don't need anybody's help. I don't need to go out there. It's like wisdom, right? You've gained a lot of wisdom by being in this Knight of Pentacles energy for so long. This is Virgo energy. It's like going over the details or the analytics of the situation and learning something from it, so you can learn your old patterns. You truly are leaving something behind to move forward into a more fortunate and beautiful future here, getting out of a comfort zone and going to the Ten of Cups. I love it. Yeah, see, now you're the Queen of Cups. You've become compassionate and kind and loving. Now you're looking at those people who have been trying to goad you into arguments and fights. You're looking at them sort of in a way of, I kind of feel bad for you that you're using that time that way. I'm not going to use my time that way. I'm going to be compassionate and kind, and I'm going to use that time to be solid and grounded and be with my family and the people who love me, the people who are building with me. So I think it's a really beautiful way to start next week. I feel like somebody's on some sort of a new path of letting go of the past or how you were, moving into a more abundant change of mind. The way that you are going forward is not the way that you were in the past. And I kind of love that. I'm going to go for now. Thank you so much, Gemini, for being here and watching. I do appreciate you so much. I'm going to go for now, but I will be back, of course, because I'm always back. Take care, Gems. Bye-bye.